Is there some progress from the last time?
I was not able to make the last meeting, and there's been sort of an extended time since the last meeting because I guess of holidays. So I feel like my feeling is that some people made some progress in getting. I saw some mentions of some cleanup in a couple of the providers, or that's the wrong term. That's probably the Terraform term, but some of the oh no, that's the salt term too. I saw some motion there, but I don't know what the concrete progress is. Also, I shared this just the spreadsheet of the few things I thought could be closed out from GitHub with Daniel. I don't know if that has become something that we will actually close out.
As for me, the last time I have been on a meeting was probably 2 months ago. And since then,
right, same here.
I made a spreadsheet, and that's it. I can update if anyone wants.
What is the spreadsheet of? Sorry.
A spreadsheet with all the cloud drivers and cloud functions that are grouped by occurrence. And
if you could put that in the cloud channel and pin it, that would be great.
I think, no, it's not. I think it's already there. Yeah.
Well,
it's already pinned. Cloud driver requirements.
Okay.
And cool. That's it. Some time ago I asked Daniel what basically are the next steps, and got no response.
Yeah, I think it's one of those actual work getting in the way situations. But let's try to get in touch with him and see when he's back. Maybe get things. I suspect we need to get a meeting when people are available outside of this biweekly schedule, just like as soon as people are available. Or I would prefer that in order to see that there's some progress, because we've got people, we just don't have a lot of momentum, and I think we need to work on that.
We can coordinate asynchronously in a Slack room.
Yeah.
No need to wait for a next meeting or something like that.
Good point. Quick question. So let's see, what's the key to some of the colors you've got here? So is the idea here that each of these, you're showing what they have available versus, so the green things are common for all drivers that are not,
green ones.
Which they make sense?
Which tab are you looking at?
You know what? I'm looking at grouped driver functions.
Yeah, okay. I marked the green ones as it's some basically arbitrary choice criteria. Basically, most common functions that are available in most of the drivers.
Got it. And so it's sort of up to next steps.
Images, basically available images, available location, size, create a VM, destroy, something like get configured provider, get image, get size, and that's it. Oh no, there is also like things like to list nodes and run a script.
Right, and it looks like there's some things like query and reboot that are labeled yellow, and I guess that would, and start and stop, that are sort of like, how can they not be part of the base?
Yeah, it's, for me it wasn't clear what is considered to be a baseline driver. If you can agree on that, I can update my spreadsheet.
Well, why don't we put that forward as like an action item for Daniel to like bring up? Like, I feel like he's still, unless he wants to devolve that responsibility for calling some boats to someone else for right now, it's worth mentioning that we want to know whether, I would agree with you that query, reboot, and maybe other functions and maybe these other two you have in yellow, start and stop, are absolutely essential. And maybe also like suspend when it's available. And just maybe should we take a vote or start a discussion in the channel about with like sort of an end time, like a few days worth of topics, being able to discuss them as to which ones should actually be considered baseline, if any, and if any of these common things should be removed. I don't see any reason for any of the ones that you've got outlined in green to be removed. I guess basically, we need to nominate the functions that seem to be absolutely baseline if they are not, right? And define some of them, things like by name. I guess I have to look at the documentation for list nodes, select. But whatever they need to be, we need to look for the absolute baseline for the common core of things that need to be available and start. And what you've got here is a start, and we need to come to a consensus for anything else that needs to be added to that. Like I would argue, like if there's no list IP address, like I see list public, but where's the get? You would think like get network info, some kind of getting of network information. Get location makes sense also to add to that. Yeah, get IP or get IPs makes sense too, of some kind. And what that should look like. Get dependencies. Is there a reason that that's not considered common? It looks like it's pretty widely implemented. I guess it just doesn't hit the halfway mark or something, huh? Wow, you have a lot here.
It was just my guess.
Yeah.
Feel free to change the colors if you see more logical way to group them. I think
And
the
I guess the
initial
one other question.
oh, sorry. Continue.
No, please.
I think the initial goal was to basically create a documentation page on what the driver should look like and what are
Exactly.
the basic functions.
Right, and that's why I'm saying I think we need to come to an agreement as to what is a clear baseline. That was also part of it, right? So we could document them. And I guess I'm confused. For instance, like there isn't a get IP address or something along those lines in the API, though. Maybe the idea there is that once you have the hosts up, the salt master can just ask it anyway. It's just like I said, it's a conversation where you look at it and it's worth asking what. Yeah, it looks like the majority of drivers don't implement get IP, but it does get public IP. You know, there's good reasons for it because the IP may be obvious, and getting the public IP, which is usually a single address, whereas internals can be multiple or confusing and also can be more arbitrary, you know. But it still seems worth asking what the point is of that and whether we should include it or exclude it so we can document that, and having that discussion seems like the useful outcome of that. But this is great work. Don't get me wrong. I'm thinking out loud here.
Action point. Yeah, I think another action point was to figure out which of these drivers have some unit tests. Did anyone make some progress on this?
No, I don't know about that. Like I said, I missed the prior meeting, so I think I did not get the, I don't know what the actions there would be.
Also, this is a moving target.
Yep.
I think at some point we might want to make some ratchet to we lock the standard drivers and somehow keep the progress, keep the reporting function to see which drivers are conformed to the baseline.
Yeah. So let's
Maybe
just put
maybe
a little,
as part maybe as a part of automated test suite.
I'm going to put a little note in here that it seems that there are 3 of us in here, and I'm not sure Tommy is I'm not sure Tommy is doing anything. If he's just holding the room open or whatever. Sorry, man. Don't know if you're there. So let me just put the note down that we discussed this. I'm not sure what Tommy's handle is in Slack. Techie Tommy. Say without I'm going to say I think any decision should be left for when there are more people present. That's the wrong message. So I'll say specifically, I guess we should revert to Slack. Now, if that looks good, I'll drop off.
Yeah, I think it doesn't make sense to be online on call.
Yeah. All right, then.
Bye-bye.
Well, take it easy. Have a good evening.